Speaking of conservatives taking this country backward, Texas is now banning cannabis. Can you imagine in 2025 banning weed, especially when we see states that have legalized it have benefited tremendously from the taxes they bring in? I'll probably talk about this more in a future video, but when you ban cannabis, all you're doing is hurting farmers and, of course, restricting people's freedoms. You're fucking the revenue of your state. Do not understand why Texas politicians thought that this was going to be a good idea. Americans and Texans overwhelmingly want legalization. It's good for farmers, it's good for people's individual choice, it's good for the economy, and it's good for funding things like rehab services, beds in rehab, needle exchange programs, addiction medicine. It's just completely nonsensical. It's like conservatives are determined to destroy the economy on a federal, state, and local level everywhere they have control. An Oregonian and an advocate for national legalization. What do you mean? It's not even the real stuff that they're banning in Texas. They are banning hemp with less than 0.03% THC. What the fuck are you doing, Texas? This makes even less sense. Obviously, as an Oregonian, I just assumed when I read and then also saw some clips of Texas legislators testifying about this, that when y'all were talking about banning cannabis and banning THC in your state, you meant banning weed, but weed isn't even legal in Texas. They want to ban hemp and hemp-derived products. I had to go look this up because I'm completely flummoxed. Texas is about to ban THC products. Here's what to know. The ban aims to remove products made legal through a 2019 loophole that would provide a similar high to marijuana and are easily accessible to the general public. Okay, the ignorance in that headline says everything I need to know about at least what the Texas Tribune thinks and understands about cannabis. But to equate some hemp-derived edible with smoking a joint is wild. A similar high to marijuana. What the? So apparently the bill would still allow non-psychoactive CBD products to be sold, but it's also going to completely hamstring the hemp industry, hemp farmers in the state. I'll probably talk about that more in a minute because I just read a really interesting interview with a hemp farmer in Texas who said that she's basically screwed if this goes through. We all know how much Republicans actually love farmers and actually care about agriculture. If you are found in possession of a hemp-derived drink or other edible in Texas, you could face $500 in fines and potentially jail time if you're a repeat offender. This is just the stupidest thing I've heard in a long time. I know that Texas, I say that as somebody who's from Texas originally, I know that Texas is all about controlling your body and your mind. They want to restrict corn. They want to restrict other adult materials. They want to restrict your access to reproductive health care. They want to restrict what you do with your own personal body. They want to be all up in your business, all up in your bedroom. And this is wild to me that of all of the things happening in the United States, all of the ways that people are suffering, that this is what the Texas legislature, the Republicans in the Texas legislature found to be a priority. Putting farmers out of business and banning consumable hemp products. Republicans are regressing this country. They are taking us backwards. They are reducing our civil liberties, our freedoms. It's all about coercive control. It's all how much can they dictate to you how you live your life. It's how many of the things you enjoy can they take away from you. How much can they punish you for wanting to be a free human being in the United States of America? Okay, I had not intended to go down a rabbit hole about how Texas is going to ban THC, but I'm originally from Texas and I am an Oregonian and cannabis is legal here. I very much believe in national legalization. I think of all of the things to be up in people's business about. Cannabis is a real weird one to choose. And I understand the reason that it became illegal in the first place was racism. I understand how much race was a motivator in making cannabis illegal in this country. And it seems nonsensical until you understand the way that that plays into it. So I had initially seen some clips of Texas legislators and people in Texas talking about this upcoming THC ban. And I was like, why would y'all ban weed? Why would you do that? It brings in tax revenue. It is a crop that farmers can grow. And why is the party of small government all up in people's business trying to control people? Well, obviously, we know that conservatives love to control everything about your body and your life and love to constrain your liberty as much as possible. But they say that they're the party of small government, and yet they want to make more and more and more things illegal. They want to pass more and more and more laws restricting you. So initially I was like, what the? This makes no sense to me that Texas would be taking their state backward by wanting to ban cannabis products. And then I was corrected, like, oh, Angela, you should read some more into this, because it's not all cannabis products. Like, weed is not legal in Texas and never has been. It's hemp-derived THC. That is such a terrible threat that in the middle of all of these awful things happening in the United States, the priority for the Texas legislature was banning hemp-derived THC all the way down to 0.03%. As an Oregonian, that boggles my mind that is something that they're worried about in Texas, and they want to make it punishable by $500 in fines, or repeat offenders could potentially go to prison for hemp soda. Well done, Texas Republicans. Well done. But it's not just about the negative impacts in terms of social control, taking away people's liberties, preventing adults from making choices about how they want to run their lives and what to put into their own bodies. It's more than that. This THC ban is going to be really bad for farmers in Texas. I would like to point to an article in the Texas Tribune. It's from May 26th. It's entitled, THC Ban Will Destroy Texas's Hemp Agriculture Industry, Farmers Say. While state leaders say growers can still produce industrial hemp, farmers say they will quit growing the plant altogether because of the THC ban. Now, to be clear, there are a lot of people on social media talking about the fact that the reason that this ban is being pushed for in the first place is because of lobbying from alcohol producers. It's not really about protecting Texans. It's not about civic responsibility. As always, in American government, it's about corporate influence. It's not about making a better quality of life for Texans or keeping Texans safe. It's about big business not being happy that hemp-derived THC is cutting into their profit margin. It's about big alcohol lobbying Republicans to prioritize corporate profit, corporate interest, above the interests of the people who live in Texas, above the rights of the people who live in Texas. It always, follow the money. Follow the money. I will never understand why America's farmers in recent years have started leaning so far to the right. Our farmers used to lean heavily Democratic because they knew who supported the Farm Bill. They knew who prioritized small family farms. And I don't know what happened to them, much like the rest of conservative America. They got hoodwinked into believing that a billionaire cared about working class people like them. They got lied to and began to believe that Republicans actually gave a shit at all about working class people. And what we see time and time again is that they care about corporate interest. They care about big business. I'm waiting for the day that farmers realize that over the last 20 years, they have shifted to the right and are now simping for their own oppression. They are now voting for and actively supporting the folks who are undermining agriculture or undermining our family farms. So to the article in the Texas Tribune by Jamie Lozano Carver, it starts out in Lubbock. 6 years ago, Texas lawmakers opened a door to a new lifeline for farmers. They could grow hemp. Farmers invested time, money, and land into growing the drought-resistant crop and developing the state's budding hemp industry. The same lawmakers are now slamming that door shut. All products containing THC could soon be banned in Texas. As a result, farmers are bracing for impact as they wait to go out of business. America's farmers who've already been hurt by natural disasters where Trump refuses to send in aid. They've already been hurt by the canceling of USAID, so the government is no longer buying the crops they grow. Those American farmers. The same American farmers who are being denied grant money that was promised to them under Biden, and Trump is saying, no, I'm not going to pay you after all. Grant money that would have done things like improve the climate resilience and efficiency of their farms, helping their farms become more profitable, more functional, and more secure. Those farmers. Here's yet another hit happening on a federal level and now on a state level in Texas. Republicans do not give a shit about America's farmers. Amy Gouger, co-owner of Caprock Family Farms in Lubbock, says we wouldn't be in the hemp business in a million years if the Texas legislature hadn't passed the bill legalizing hemp THC. Now we're one of the largest hemp producers in the U.S., and their ban is going to shut that down. The Texas hemp industry, in its current form, has effectively been handed a death sentence with the upcoming passage of Senate Bill 3. It was authored by Lubbock Republican Senator Charles Perry. On Sunday, the legislature sent the bill which bans consumable hemp products that contain even a trace amounts, like 0.03% of THC, to be sold in Texas. But they went ahead and passed that bill right along. It's sitting on Governor Abbott's desk waiting for him to sign. However, as hemp producers will tell you, hemp can't be produced without tiny traces of THC. It's just not possible regardless of the product. It doesn't mean there's a sufficient quantity for you to get absolutely high as balls off of. And even if they were, obviously my Oregonian is showing through, even if they were, so what? So what if adults are making a conscious choice to consume 1, 2, 3% THC and enjoy that? Y'all in Texas have no problem with them consuming alcohol. So it's important to understand here that Texas Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, who he is a piece of work, has been leading the charge to ban hemp-based THC products and basically drive hemp farmers in Texas out of business. In a betrayal of Texas hemp producers, the Agriculture Commissioner for the state, Sid Miller, has also decided to back the bill. He's now delusionally claiming that it will not be detrimental to farmers, despite the fact that farmers are telling him, we're going to go out of business if you do this. Miller is now claiming that the hemp industry will thrive because they will produce hemp only for fiber. I'm going to read from the article again. In lawmakers' pursuit of a ban, growers like Gouger were caught in the crosshairs. Gouger, who runs the business with her husband and her 2 sons, felt ignored by most of the legislature. Gouger said they did everything they could to get lawmakers to hear them over the last few months. They testified in committee hearings overseeing the bill, and it simply did not work. Right. Well, why would it work if the rumors are true that they are being lobbied by the alcohol industry? They're not going to care about hemp producers with all of that lobbying money behind them. Now, Gouger says that her state senator, Charles Perry, who is the author of this bill, claims that he has an open door policy, but he refuses to meet with her. You know, she's one of his constituents, a prominent business owner in his district, and he won't meet with her. Does that sound like our Republican members of Congress who won't show up at town halls, won't return calls, won't meet with constituents, make sure their voicemails are full? Because Republicans are cowards. They're afraid of their constituents. They want to be able to pander to corporate interest, pander to the oligarchs, and they don't want to have to face their constituents who actually vote for them. Kyle Bingham, who is the president of the Texas Hemp Growers Association, called the bill overreaching and unenforceable. He also said lawmakers involved in the writing of the bill ignored farmers throughout the process. He is also one of Senator Perry's constituents. So Lieutenant Governor Patrick here is saying that the products put children in danger. That is a classic Republican technique to say we're protecting children. They will push through all kinds of violations of your rights, all kinds of oppressive bills in the name of protecting children. I don't know, man. We don't have a problem here in Oregon with children overdosing on hemp products. Also, do you even understand what a THC overdose is like? No, obviously not. What danger to little children is being posed exactly? And please understand, as with any Republican policy, it's not just the farmers who will be hurt, it's the manufacturers, the hemp processors, the people who run the extractors, all of the farm laborers. If this goes through, possessing any quantity of hemp with THC in it could land you in prison for a year. Farmers are worried that if they continue to grow hemp, they will then have to have a seed stock. That seed stock would violate this new law. So farmers could potentially be prosecuted as felons for owning seed stock to grow hemp. Gouger is expecting the downfall of the hemp industry across Texas. That includes legal products like hemp hearts, hemp seed oil, and hemp fiber. Republicans are wrecking the things that we care about. When are we going to wake up to the reality that Republicans are terrible for America's farmers?